Welcome to the Learning Lab Instructor Edition. This is our weekly space where MAHJLIFE instructors bring questions, share ideas, and strengthen their teaching through live discussion and gameplay demonstrations. Our topic for today is using social media effectively. So I hope you're up for this topic. Let me know in the comment section below or in the live stream chat if there are any topics that you'd like to see on upcoming episodes. I want to say thank you for being here with me, and also moderators, thank you very much for helping monitor the chat. Say hi in chat if you like. Welcome. If you don't already know, the Learning Lab is a space on Facebook, a private group where players join to get answers from instructors in the MAHJLIFE Instructor Guild, and then those instructors practice their teacher's voice, and we have experienced instructors mentoring them. So it's a win-win-win. Players get answers from vetted instructors, instructors get to practice their teacher's voice, and mentors get to practice leadership. And I get to watch and support along the way. If you would like to participate, join the Instructor Guild, because it is a service offered to guild members. And I do see that we have some guild members with us right now. Hello, Dana, Laura, Jay, Debbie, Sylvia. Hello, welcome. Are you guys ready to talk about social media? As a matter of fact, I just took a workshop yesterday on social media. Supposedly, it was a bit disappointing because it did not really deliver. It was actually a sales pitch. Big surprise, I should have known better, but I was able to glean a few jewels of knowledge. It actually sparked an idea for another workshop that I've created for guild members on the topic. So the topic of that workshop was, I don't remember if I mentioned it, but it was how to build your business without social media. But again, it was a pitch for their business. Basically, you needed to join as a client with them in order to get help with their process. And they offered just a couple of ideas, and that's what I ran with. The couple of ideas that they had were networking and collaboration, which incidentally is the topic for the October workshop that we have already scheduled, called Thrive Together, Collaboration Over Competition. So we're already covering some of that, but it did make me kind of stop and think about social media and how I use it, the lessons that I've learned, and I thought that that is what we could talk about today. Hello, Mary. Okay, so let me get my list. Where's my list? That's not it. Here it is. No. Yes, there it is. Okay, so using social media effectively. So the first thing that I just wanted to put out there is, do you use social media at all? Let me know in the live stream chat. Put a 1 there if you use social media. Just put a 1. We'll get to what platform in a minute. So let everybody know if you use social media. 1 for yes, and if you don't, just don't put anything. I'll put a 1 in there for me. Okay, so Mary uses social media. I use social media. And we're going to talk about it. Okay, Jay, Sherry uses social media. Okay, interesting. Very good. Okay, now let's have everybody put what platform they use. I use 1, and I won't put mine in there because I'm going to tell you what it is. I use Facebook. That's it. Now, I do have an account at Instagram, but I don't use it. I even have a Twitter, but I don't use it. Or excuse me, X. I don't use either one of those. I just can't. I don't have the time. I use Facebook. Mary says Facebook. Okay, Facebook. Facebook is great because you can, Debbie uses Facebook. It's a community builder. Okay, Sherry uses Instagram and Facebook. Sherry, is your Instagram and Facebook integrated? They do have an integration, I've been told. I don't use, okay, Sylvia uses Facebook and Instagram. I think Sylvia, do you think, are you, would you consider yourself to be an experienced user with Instagram? What level of experience do you have? I'm going to put you on the spot here. Would you say that you're beginner, intermediate, advanced with Instagram? Sherry, yes, that's exactly what you do. One post, two platforms. Okay. Has anybody heard of Hootsuite? Okay, Sylvia has it integrated as well. Okay, good. I'm assuming that you have to post an image on Facebook, I guess, and then it propagates to Instagram. Absolutely not. Oh, you're not, you're a beginner. Okay. All right. I won't put you on the spot then. Mary says her Instagram is integrated, but you don't consider it as using it. Okay. All right, good. All right. So we do have a little bit of a mix. And I know that Instagram is really popular with the 40-somethings crowd. It is a influencer platform. So basically the power of Instagram is visuals, the images. So you have to take a lot of photos and or I think reels, is it called reels or stories or something like that? I'm not sure where they are. Is it reels are on Instagram and stories are on Facebook, I think, or vice versa. I don't remember. Stories can integrate between the two platforms. Okay. So on Instagram, it's all about visuals and then hashtags. Visuals and hashtags and sharing and following. Following is what it is. So you follow people. And the more people you follow, the more people follow you, and it basically snowballs. That's my understanding of it. Okay, reels are on both. Okay, and they are short videos. All right, very good. And then Facebook is much more about a Facebook group, I should say, has features that build community. Some of the features that I use are events, the files, and I use posts and scheduling, and then just commenting and yeah, so that's how I use Facebook. So the first thing, let's see, Jay says use Instagram to keep up with your kids and grandkids with photos and such. Yeah, photos is what it's all about on Instagram. So with business, with Instagram and in your personal life, it's much more about keeping up with each other's lives if you're spread out through the nation. So it's just kind of a journaling system, I guess you could say. I'm part of a family Facebook group. It's private, so my brothers and sisters and my dad are on it. And anytime something big happens in the family, somebody will post, and that way we can kind of keep up with each other. It's kind of like the annual Christmas postcard where you have a story on the back of what happened that year. Well, the Facebook group kind of facilitates that, but all year long. With business, it's a little bit different. And when I say business, I mean teaching practice. We are all here because we teach the game. We want to share about it, whether through lessons and events. So whether we charge or not, that's beside the point. We're not here to talk about charging today anyway. We're just talking about using social media effectively. And that, again, is whether you charge or not, because we still want to get, students into our lessons. We want students to come to our events. So how can you use social media effectively to do that? and to raise brand awareness. You want people to find you. Now, not everybody uses social media, so you need to have an ecosystem established. Hopefully you have a web page, whether it be a landing page, just one page. Maybe you have a link tree. Maybe you have a full-on website with multiple pages like I do. So if you have a website of some kind, and then Facebook or another platform like Instagram, those can kind of feed off one another or filter in from one another. That creates your ecosystem. So for me, I use my YouTube channel, which is what we're doing here. I use Facebook for events and community building, community support, and also to help me raise brand awareness. And then that's it. I use, well, and my website. So my website, YouTube, and Facebook. That is my ecosystem. People go to my website, they find out I have a YouTube channel. They join my YouTube channel, they learn about my Facebook community. Or maybe they come in through my Facebook group and they see, oh my goodness, she does videos, and they find my YouTube channel. Through my YouTube channel, I may mention my wiki, which sends them to my website. And then it just cycles. So all three of those platforms support one another, and it becomes this beautiful garden where all the butterflies come. You build a butterfly garden so the butterflies come to you. You stop chasing the butterflies. Build a butterfly garden so they come to you. That's the idea of this ecosystem. With the social media piece, it is kind of it's a challenge, because we want to work smart and we want to save time and we want to have a work-life balance. But social media can be a time sink. I don't mean to sound negative, but it's a fact. It can be a time sink. You could spend a lot of time in social media without even realizing it. Scroll and scroll and scroll, go in and out of different rabbit holes. You could be on social media all day long, literally. So there's a challenge with it, but if used correctly, it can really help build brand awareness. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Does anybody have any questions, or maybe have any idea of what you'd like to get out of this discussion today? Put it in the live stream chat if there's anything on your mind about social media, whether it be a pain point or an aha moment, or maybe you found something that works for you. Put that in the live stream chat and we'll add it to the discussion. I'll give you just a minute to do that. And then I'm going to share something. I'll check back with the chat if anybody wants to share. So the first thing that I want to say is that social media isn't about posting every day. It's about posting with intention. For example, today I was inspired by a meeting that I had with an instructor. She bought my lesson kit. And while we were talking, she was asking me for tips on how to make sure that a lesson goes off without a hitch. So she's doing her very first lesson this weekend. And so I gave her my top 3 tips. And I thought, okay, why don't I post top 3 tips for aha moments? I just posted it in the Nexus, which is the Instructor Guild private Facebook group. Top 3 tips for aha moments. I put my top 3 tips and a bonus in there of what has worked for me time and again to ensure that lessons go well. Because I've had a lot of pain points come up, a lot of awkward moments, and even unhappy students in lessons. And those top 4 things were my aha moments. So an instructor can have an aha moment, but so can the students when you integrate some of these great tips. So I thought, I'm going to post that in there. And that is an example of an intentional post. I posted it because I want people to share what works for them and create a conversation. My goal is to create conversation, get some engagement so that people are sharing and we can all benefit from each other's knowledge. When you post online, what is your goal? Connection, visibility, education, or sales. So when I made that post, it was connection. My goal was to create connection. We all have pain points in our lesson practice. So these top tips for aha moments, that's going to create connection in the nexus. So let me see. Debbie says, which is more effective, a Facebook group or a Facebook page dedicated? Hi, Wes. Dedicated to mahjong instruction. Okay, that's a great question, Debbie. And I am happy to answer that because that is one of my lessons learned. Which is more effective? And it depends on what your goals are. So you can use any social media platform, but your why is what's important. Why do you want to use social media? Is it to raise, well, the bottom line is going to be to raise brand awareness, probably. That's probably your top goal. But you probably have other goals in mind as well. So for Instagram is all about what word am I looking for? It's about influence, and it's visually based. So if you take a lot of photos, if you do a lot with events where you take lots of photos and you want to use those photos for marketing, if that is where your emphasis is, then Instagram is your platform. I would still do Facebook, and here's why. Facebook is a community developer. It develops community. It creates community. The tools that are there can create community. And that is where people get to know you. That's where you can show who you are, share about your passion, your lessons, and bring people together in your community, especially. Or even nationally if you do a lot of virtual events. So with the difference between the page and a group, that's going to depend on your why. So if you want to promote your business alone, where you're sharing about maybe press releases, maybe innovation, perhaps a new product, a new service, perhaps a big event, it's all about promoting your business, sharing about what your business is doing. That's what a page will do. It's about promoting your business. A group has special features that allow you to have more engagement with your members, your group members. So you have, for example, let me just pull up my Facebook group. Let me just show you what I have here. I'll share my screen and you can see how I've used it here. I had with a priest business, I had a Facebook page, but we couldn't create community because it was all outward facing. But the Facebook group is about the community. It's about engagement. That's why a group is so much more powerful than a page. So we stopped the page and created a group, but we lost traction because we spent time on the page where we really needed a group. That's what we really wanted. So if you want to create community, if you want engagement, you want to communicate, you want to show that you're relatable and reachable and touchable, that you're a real person and not just a business, that is what a group will do for you. So let me share my screen and I'll show you the features that I leverage. And then we're going to talk about how to use it effectively. Okay, so here's my Facebook group. Okay, and what I want to focus on is this bar right here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is have a banner that tells exactly what you do in that group. People want to know what's in it for me. What is in it for me? Mahjong, learn to play, build your skills, videos published weekdays. That's what I want people to know, and that's what people want when they come to this page. So the features that I leverage on Facebook to build community and create opportunities for engagement is I use guides. Well, clearly I use discussion. That's the meat and potatoes of Facebook. And then I use guides. So in guides, I have several guides that walk people through the group rules of the group, and then how to use the wiki, how to use the search feature. There's an American Mahjong guide, how to find people to play with, and then I wanted to have a guide on knowing the limits of Mahjong Made Easy. So I have 4 guides there, and it's a collection of posts that you can create, and you can have content in those. So it's almost like a booklet, I guess, or like a brochure. I kind of use it like a brochure. And in there are posts that have links to my website or to wiki articles. So that is guides. I leverage that feature. And then featured is where you can pin any posts. So I pin, for example, when we have a new instructor, I pin when I have a big event coming up. This Saturday, we're doing another bingo bash for St. Jude. So we're going to be doing a fundraiser on Saturday. I post when I release new merch, like these Purist Rebel t-shirts. I also post my blog release. I do things like posting a feature of my wiki, which is important because I want people to go to my website to use my wiki. And then I pin also when I do, the learning lab is on there because I'd like people to know that we have a learning lab. And also the Nexus is pinned. Any upcoming events I pin. So you could do your lessons on there, for example, another blog post. And then my YouTube schedule is on there. So you can see that you can highlight or promote any of your content in featured. You just pin it and it goes into featured, and it shows up as a scrolling post, like right here. If you see here, when you go to my website, let me go here. When you go to, not my website, but my Facebook group, let's see, let me click that there. Here's the featured, and people can scroll and see all the different featured posts. So that's a wonderful feature. I use that all the time. Okay, then we have open questions. That's just unanswered posts. Then the events. This one I think is key, especially for instructors. This is where you can create your lessons or a tournament or maybe an open play, a drop-in game. You could have maybe even a planned YouTube live stream if you have a YouTube channel. So you can post an event with a link to wherever it's going to be, or a link to details, or maybe put the details right in there where they can buy tickets, for example. And then files I use as well. And I upload all kinds of useful resources here. So with all of these features, Facebook can help you build community and be a focal point of resources. You can help create this place where people can come and get what they need. You can be a go-to source by using Facebook groups. So does anybody have any questions about what I just shared about using Facebook groups? And Debbie, I hope that answered your question. Sylvia is saying that she uses Canva Pro. I also use that. It built a basic website. Okay, very good. It was super easy. All right. So when you do a post on social media, you want to make sure that you know what your goal is, because whatever, and an image is good if you can create an image for it, because some people are visual while some people are readers. They just want to read, get to the meat and potato of the post, but some people like images. So if you can have the time to make an image, that's good, especially if you integrate with Instagram. You're welcome, Debbie. So just know what your goal is. Is it connection? Is it visibility? Is it education? Or is it sales? If I'm doing something purely educational, I probably won't have an image. But if I'm trying to create connection, I do want to appeal to those who are visual. And if I want to raise visibility, of course, I want it to carry my brand. So I want to make sure that I create a post that has my goal in mind. And then the other thing that I want to share is about what have you seen in your experience, for those of you who use social media, what has drawn people in the most? For me, I think it's about skills and rules. So I think most people come to my Facebook group to get answers to questions. And then they stay because of community. Once they come and then see that it's a good place to get answers, they come back. And then over time, relationships are formed. So the community just grows organically. So for me, it's about being a source for the rules and for skills and strategies as well. But mostly, I think, for rules. People want to understand what happens in a game and get an answer for a complex situation. For example, I think that's where I see most of the activity on my Facebook group anyway. Does anybody want to share what draws people to your platform? Because it is a two-way street. When you post in a group, you post something, you want engagement. So if you get engagement, you need to be present to respond back. It is a conversation, even though it's digital, it is a conversation. Sylvia said, or I'm sorry, Sherry says, you literally have only posted 3 times. Okay, welcome to the madness. But you're shocked to see how quickly you're gaining followers and views. Kudos. Also, on one pass, 20% of the views came from India. Oh my, India? Huh, interesting. You're an American Mahjong player? Or do you play Western Mahjong? Because they play Western Mahjong in India. Sylvia says, I took a free basic rules class in Instagram and it provides reach to people who do not follow you. Okay. It gained interest for lessons from people who didn't know you. Oh, that was successful. Wes built a local Facebook group to provide a place for local play dates, tournaments, and things like that. Okay, excellent. Well done. That's exactly one of the great benefits of creating a Facebook group, to draw people in locally, especially if you use your area or your city, your county, your state as part of the name of your group, because then people can search by that and find you. So you want to be smart about how you name your group, how you name your platform. Sherry's American Mahjong. Okay. Yeah, I see your posts, Wes, and it looks like you're getting activity. And using the events on Facebook I have found great success with it. Now, one of the challenges with using Facebook events is that not everybody uses Facebook. And that's why it's important to have at least a landing page that's outside of Facebook, because then people can search Google for you and find your Facebook or maybe your website, and between the two connect with you. So it will help over time with SEO, search engine optimization, and they can find you. Laura uses Nextdoor to reach local areas. Okay, Nextdoor is also a popular platform. It's very flat though. It's a good connector to be sure. It's not necessarily a community builder though. You can't really have a conversation on Nextdoor as far as I know. I've never used it that way. I believe you can comment. For example, if you're searching for something, you can comment. How have you found it as far as has it been a successful community builder? It may helped you connect with people, but it has it actually helped you build community? Let us know, Laura. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to ask is about on your whatever platform you use, whether it be Instagram or Facebook, and we can talk more about having a landing page or a website if time permits, but because I do think it's important. If you're running a teaching practice, I think you should have at minimum a landing page, and they're really easy to create nowadays. So we can circle back to that if we have time. But what I'd like to talk about is on your social media, to be effective, you want to focus on a balance of promotion with value. So if you do use the space to connect, you can also use it to promote your lessons or any special event or even products if you like. So with promotion in mind, there's a rule. It's an 80-20 rule. Most posts should provide value or spark connection, and some with just a little space for promotion. And one of the things that I wanted to share about that is quality over quantity. Quality over quantity. You want to be more so about conversation and community building than sales, because what could happen if you're not careful is you could become just a sales site, which is distasteful. Is that the right word? Not everybody is in the market to buy, but they are always looking for connection. So you want to be mindful about the types of posts that you put out there. You should be doing an 80-20, or here's another one that I kind of live by, and that is give, ask. Give, ask. Give, ask. And that comes from, I believe it originated from Gary Vaynerchuk, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's a social media guru, and he has a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. That's a little intense for me. So I prefer give, ask. But jab, 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 right hook is the same thing. Basically, you give to the community, you nurture, you serve, you create community, you create engagement, and you earn the moment where you can then say, hey, I've got a new t-shirt design, or I have a new affiliate partnership. If you're interested in getting some cookies, go for Baker's Dozen to Go, because I have worked with them and have had great success with branded cookies from them. So that would be an ask. Go check it out, or go to my store and check out my new t-shirt design. But all along the way, I've been giving value, I've been delivering value, and I've been nurturing the community. So I've earned my ability to then ask them to check out part of my business. And because there's been this loyalty is developed, they're happy to go to my website and buy a t-shirt that says MAHJLIFE on it or something like that. So Give, 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 ask. That's the point on this one. Oh, you can make a group on Nextdoor. That's interesting. I didn't know that. So just know that engagement is a two-way street, and you don't want to be too salesy because it will turn people off. You want to make sure that you're delivering value and you're nurturing the community there, and you're meeting their needs, because over time you're going to develop relationships and they're going to trust you. And that's not to say that what you do is manipulative. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about delivering value. We're talking about supporting the community where there are needs. We're talking about nurturing relationships and creating opportunities for engagement. By doing all those things, you build trust so that when you do have a promotion or a special event or some kind of new product, you can share it with your community and they're happy to come and check it out or even purchase or engage in whatever way you want them to, because you've earned that trust. People buy from those they know, like, and trust. And you build that, you develop that over time through community. You've got to know your platform. Every platform has its purpose. Facebook is about groups and community. Instagram is about visuals. YouTube is about broadcasting at depth. And also it's good for teaching, demonstrations, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you're providing content where it is applicable. So on Facebook, it's more about having a conversation. On Instagram, it's more about aesthetics and influencer visuals. And then YouTube is much more about delivering value through a broadcast. And does anybody have any questions so far? There's one more thing that I thought I would share about as well, and that's about making it sustainable. Because as I said in the very beginning, social media can be a huge time sink if you're not careful. So you want to make sure that you're using it effectively and that you're putting in boundaries for yourself. Otherwise, it could affect your work-life balance. Does anybody have any comments before this last piece that I wanted to share? Okay, the last thing that I wanted to share is about making it sustainable. It's got to be sustainable. And I have a personal story that I can tell you because I just recently made a change after a lesson learned for the second time around, or probably more for the third or fourth. But you want to pick a rhythm that you can sustain. Consistency matters more than volume. Some of what Gary Vaynerchuk, this guru, teaches is volume, but I disagree with it. He says something like, you want to have, I don't know, something ridiculous like 30 pieces of content a day. There's no way I could ever do that. I might have maybe 5, but 30, or I don't know. You were thinking about WordPress. What is the purpose of a blog? The purpose of a blog is to establish yourself as a thought leader. That's what I think a blog is for. It is something that requires consistent publications. So you definitely want to have a backlog before you launch. I'd recommend at least 7 articles in your backlog at all times. So you build up a backlog of 7 articles, and then you go live, and that gives you 7 weeks to continually fill that backlog. So you never have a week go by or a month go by, whatever your schedule's going to be, of no content. It takes consistent publishing with a blog. Otherwise, you'll lose subscribers. So a blog is, people still do use blogs. Is it useful for marketing, education, or education? It's not. It is a it is a publication, and it is good for education, certainly. So what you would want to do is first document your why. Why do you want to blog, so that you can make sure that you have content that fulfills your purpose, your mission. So what do you want to achieve through your blog? What kind of readers do you want to attract? So you want to think through those things, and then do some homework and groundwork before you launch. And again, have like 7 articles ready in your hopper before you launch, and then always have 7 in the hopper at all times. And that way, if you have to take some time off, you've got some ready to go. Or if you go on vacation or what have you, you've already got some work that you can rely on. Or if maybe you lose your computer crashes or what have you, you've always got some content ready to go. So that's my high level tips for blog. I have 2. I have snippets and Dear Hop Toy, and there are different purposes for both of those. And I publish those on both a monthly basis. So your blog, you'd want to set a schedule. Do you want to post weekly? Do you want to post monthly, quarterly? And then you've got to figure out who your audience is and write content that will draw that audience. Sherry says, instinct tells you 30 would oversaturate people and just skip. They've seen way too much, and they're trying to get creative enough to do 2 posts per week to keep them wanting to see more. Yeah, let me open up my editorial calendar, because this is part of this current topic of picking a rhythm. You want to establish a schedule so that your community knows how often they can expect content from you. And I usually, like on YouTube, I do a monthly, not a monthly, but a weekly video. But my business is exploding, which is good. I like that. But I don't have time to do weekly videos. So I just don't have time. Okay, so I was correct. Produce for full-time work as an influencer or as a social media personality. Maybe this applies to those kinds of individuals, influencers and social media personalities or what have you. He says produce 50 to 100 pieces of content when you're full-time. Is that better not be per day? Let me see what I'm going to Google it really quick, because that better not be per day. I don't remember. I haven't looked at it in a while. Gary Vaynerchuk, how many pieces of content per day? Gary Vaynerchuk advocates for high volume content strategies, suggesting creation of 100 or more pieces of content daily to capture attention and build audience habits. He emphasizes it isn't about making 100 unique complex pieces of content, but rather taking one large pillar of content, such as a keynote speech or vlog, and then repurposing it into numerous shorter clips, images, quotes, and articles for various platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So let's say 50 to 100 pieces of content per day. Okay, that might work for an influencer, but for a Mahjong instructor with a teaching practice, no, that's ridiculous. That's not achievable. So I would say if you could have daily activity of some kind on whatever platform you use, that would be good. So even one, I'm on Facebook every day, but it's just a matter of how much time I spend there. I answer questions, and I usually leave with an empty inbox, I guess you could say. But yeah, that's a lot. Now, what I have chosen to do as far as making it sustainable for myself is I post something. I post all the time in communication with answering questions about the game, whether it be rules, skills, sportsmanship, strategy. I keep the conversation going every day, all day. I'm just in and out at different times during the day. So whenever I want a little break from whatever task I'm working on, I'll pop into Facebook and see if there's anything interesting going on, or if there's maybe a new post that I need to approve and answer. So I'm in and out of Facebook like that. But I do one post a week on Wednesdays, and it cycles. So I do a post when my blog is released for my snippets. That's on the last Sunday of the month. So I do that one as well. But I post about the guild. I post about the cookies. I want to keep that on top, on the top. I want people to see that there's MAHJLIFE cookies. So I do a post, I believe, on the third Wednesday. Second Wednesday is about the guild. First Wednesday is merch, which would be a t-shirt design. And then the fourth Wednesday, I believe, the fourth Wednesday is about the guild. It's about finding an instructor on the guild. So it's where I have that post that goes up that says, 200 instructors nationwide. If you want a lesson, click here. So I do that once a week. So every Wednesday, I do one post, and then I do Dear Hop Toy, a new Dear Hop Toy letter on the second Friday. And then on the fourth Friday, I do a Dear Hop Toy post saying, if you want an answer, if you have a difficult situation, send a letter to Dear Hop Toy. So I post a letter from, that I answered in Dear Hop Toy. And then I ask later in the month for people to give me a letter or send me a letter. So I guess if you look at that cycle, I do 4 on Wednesdays, 4 a month every Wednesday. Then I do one on Friday with a Dear Hop Toy letter. And then I do one later, the fourth Friday, asking for letters. And then I do the snippet. So I do 7 Facebook posts a month, besides the daily interaction of building community by answering questions. So I'm in there every day, but the actual posts that are consistent are by that schedule. And then anything that comes up that's special, like maybe a new event, that I put up right away. Or if there's something exciting or big happening in the community, I might create a special post and put it up whenever. So that's how I make it work. Okay, let's see. Dana, you started a very eclectic YouTube channel. You did? Oh my goodness. Do you have some general advice about YouTube, or would blogging apply to YouTube? Blogging is digital on it's like a segment of your website. That's a blog. On YouTube, it's a vlog, V for video log. So a blog is written and it's on your website. A vlog is a video log, so it's a video version of a blog on YouTube. That's the difference. So YouTube would be vlogging, and that's where typically a vlogger it's kind of like a follow me through the day kind of a thing. But they usually edit it so that it's short, and short is relative. It could be anywhere from, 10, 15, 20 minutes, maybe even an hour of a vlog. And people follow you through daily or maybe 3 times a week. it depends. You need to set a schedule for how often you want to post on your YouTube channel. So on YouTube, it's much more about broadcasting, and the key to YouTube is consistency. So you want to identify who your audience is. You want to figure out the kind of content they're looking for. You want to make sure that you have a schedule that you can stick to, because your viewers get used to that. And you don't want to change it too often, which I just changed my schedule recently. And if you're consistent and make a change, when you are consistent, you're able to build relationships and trust. So if you change your schedule, they'll trust that you're going to still be there if you continue to show up, just differently. So you want to be mindful of that, though. You don't want to be all over the place. But as far as YouTube goes, you want to make sure that you have good lighting. You want to make sure that you have good sound equipment. So a webcam or a DSLR? Is that what it is? A good digital camera, depending on what kind of videos you want to make. But lighting and audio are going to be important. Okay, does anybody else have any other questions? I'd be more than happy to answer. And Dana, we can chat offline as well. I'd love to know what you're doing, so definitely send me an email. You're showing gameplay, open mahjong, unboxings. So you're doing gameplay. Are you doing commentary, kind of like what I do? Gameplay with commentary, unboxings, and tutorials. So kind of like skill builders. Oh my gosh, Wes, you're doing YouTube also? Wes, I didn't know you were doing YouTube. What? Maybe we could all get into Zoom and talk. We could do a little team meeting. Okay, well, that's awesome. I love it. The more the merrier. There's room for everybody. And what's nice is that while we all share the same clients, we share the same ideal customer. And the game is in a resurgence. There's room for everybody. It's just a matter of people finding you, because everyone's personality is going to connect or not. Not everyone's going to like me, but they may like Dana. Not everybody's going to, some people out there are looking for a male instructor, and there's Wes. If Wes, if you go online and become a YouTuber, now's the time, dude, because there are not very many. I don't know of any. Actually, I know of only one American. No. I know of two American mahjong instructors who have been broadcasting, but one is inconsistent and one is just on Facebook. So if you get started now, this is the time, because you will be a first. And being a first is key, because then you'll always be ahead of them. But you've always got to be innovating. That's the challenge with being the first. You've always got to be innovating. So you want to definitely, team meeting. Okay, good. Are you up for that, Wes? You wanted to channel for your students as well. Excellent. Yep, it's a great way. Absolutely, because then you could do a video and say, okay, your students in your class, I just created a video for you. Please go up there. That's your homework assignment for tonight, what have you. And then go watch that. And then we're going to work on it in the next lesson. So, it's a fantastic way to do that. So we could definitely do that. But, you meant Dana sent you to her YouTube. Oh, Wes, I thought you meant you are a YouTuber. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. All right, well, we're almost at the top of the hour. I hope that you found this Learning Lab for Instructor, or Learning Lab Instructor Edition helpful. Please let me know. We're going to go ahead and continue this format where I'll put the topic in the description of the video, and I won't put it on the Facebook event though, because I want that to be evergreen. So it'll always be in the YouTube title. So if you're wondering what the topic is for the day, you can go to my YouTube channel, or you can click the link in the video description, because I'm also creating an index in a wiki article for the Learning Lab Instructor Edition. So there will always be a topic there. You can see if you'll be interested. So you could attend live and ask questions live, get support live, or you can watch the repost and binge watch anything that you might have missed before, and also communicate in the video, in the comment section below the video, or you could always send me an email at michelle@mahjlife.com. Let's see, Laura says, I show YouTube videos in your group classes. You select videos from different instructors. People connect with different instructors. Yep, they do. The connection stimulates their interest in learning. Yes, that is right. So the more the merrier. There's room for everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you so much for being here, moderators. Thank you very much for helping monitor the chat. We'll be back again next week. I haven't picked the topic for next week yet, but I've got a huge list of topics. Let's see, we talked about, let me just pull it up really quick here while we're at it. Because what I thought I would do is to do things in threes, you know, like marketing 3 weeks in a row, and then do something on, I don't know, finance, and then do something on lessons, and then do something on, you know, and kind of do 3 at a time. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's see, for the Instructor Edition, we did event planning, promotions, and then the next one we did event planning using social media effectively, which includes events, of course. So I think what we could do next time, maybe this will work in pretty well, and that is an email list. Let's talk about email lists next time, because an email list is an asset. What you develop on a platform is not yours. So like on Facebook, if Facebook ever goes away, all that goes away. But my mailing list is forever. That's mine. That mailing list is an asset. So we'll talk about mailing lists next week, and we'll talk about why it's important, how to get started if you don't already have one, and then we'll talk about how to maintain it and ways that you can use it. So that's what we'll talk about next week. And then we'll move on to a different functional area after that. So look for that link in the video description below so you can catch up, and then join us here again every Thursday from 1 to 2 for the Learning Lab Instructor Edition. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. We'll see you again next week. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. Click the little gray bell if you do. That way you'll get notification for when I post new videos, and you won't miss an opportunity to learn a new strategy or pick up an insight to the game that could give you an advantage at the table. Between now and the next video, may all your picks be keepers.